Good morning everyone, my name's Steve Farragher and this is the Big Shave. Quick one really, only did one last week. I've been very lax over the last couple of months, but I've had a lot of issues really, which everyone knows about, but I don't mind talking about really. I was working in a job and I got a bit depressed and decided I didn't want to do that job anymore, so I checked it in. That was a bit of a blow. And also my girlfriend's not been very well. She got breast cancer, so that's sort of on my mind all the time. But apart from that, everything's fine. I know some people were talking about depression on the Facebook group last night. I think it was fine. Sven, it's fine. It's spelled Svine, but I think I'll call you Sven because it sounds better. It sounds too much like swine. And you're definitely not a swine. Yeah, he was basically saying he's depressed, and like I thought it might be worth saying a few things about depression really, because I've suffered it myself a couple of times. Once in my 20s, once in my mid 30s, and obviously I just had this little bit of depression, but that was over sort of relationship problems, things like that. So I think, you know, it's worth sort of not hiding behind it all. Don't be happy if you're not happy. The best thing is to always do something about it, because it's not gonna go away usually. And depression, if left untreated, and I'm not particularly going to say, well, you know, we should be treated one way or another. You know, it will be a killer really. People, you know, do get suicidal and all this sort of stuff, but you can't live with it. I think my mother was a depressed person, and from when she was, you know, growing up and an adult, you know, that type of stigma meant that you might get stuck away, you might get electric shock treatment or something. And I know for a fact that after she had me in the 1950s, she had postnatal depression. This is afterwards, obviously. I didn't know about it at the time. And she was a very angry woman. She's a very angry woman. I think that had something to do with it. Anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about personal stuff later, because I want to talk politics. Politics has come up on the YouTube, and it's very unusual. Okay, so what have we got? We've got a new product. Someone did a review of these the other day, so they were really good. And I like Super Max. They're not brilliant blades, but if you put them in the future, they're always really good, and they're always cheap as well. You get them in packs of 10, so that's good. Got 350 of these. And one of these, so I'm going to use this today, the ultimate triple action aloe vera, vitamin E and tea tree oil, so this should be interesting. And you also get a cutthroat, you know, shavette with it, and it's quite a heavy shavette. I haven't brought that up with me. So let's lather up first and see what happens. So put quite a bit into me gravy spoon holder scuttle, and I'm going to lather it up now. Put too much water in there. Far too much water. Hang on, let's put some more cream in. So how's it going for everyone? I talked last week about the weather, and the weather in Britain, particularly Liverpool, but Britain in general, is terribly. It's raining virtually every day. It's raining heavily every day, so it's things like lots of crops are being ruined. We've had very few warm summer days. That gets depressing. I was driving back from Southport, and I looked across a field of, it looked like beans or peas. The whole field was brown, and in the furrows in between the plants, there's water. There's about a foot of water. So there's someone's income ruined. Okay, so that's lathering up well. Look at that. Let's give it a bit more. I think it'll lather better on the face. Not a great fan of creams, but they tend to be too aerated. Put some water on. My face lubricated. I've got 2 days growth as well, so this will be a good test of how good these blue diamonds are. Okay, there you go. It's quite fluffy, but it's quite thin actually when it's on the face. So I'm gonna just spend a bit more time lathering it up. Got a nice smell, nice clean smell, with a hint of tea tree. Okay, So we're using the Future, putting it in the Future because the Future's very flattering razor. I've been using it most of the time lately. It's on 6. So back to double edge shaving 101. We go with the growth, we go across the growth, and we go up the growth. At the end we go down the chin that way in the first pass, across the chin that way in the second pass, and down the chin that way in the second pass. Not everyone does this, this is just my particular way of doing it, and I like doing it this way. That is a good first pass there. It's like a knife, hot knife through butter. There's no tugging on the neck at all, which you've been getting a little bit with things like sharks. Sharks are okay, but they're a bit tuggy on the neck. Let me just tilt that down a little bit. No, that's pretty good, folks. Pretty good. Got these blades off eBay. As I say, $13.99 including postage. I'll have a go with the Shavette one day, but as you know, I'm not very good or proficient single edge shaver. I'm also at the weekend, I'm going to do a video using the rolls, the silicone rolled razor as well. So that was a good pass, good first pass. Good lubrication from the soap. I've not seen Supermax shaving soap before, so the whole thing's a bit of a revelation really. Right, so I'm going to go for the second pass, which is down the cheek, across the chin, down the cheek that way, across the chin, and then on the neck I'm going to go down, straight down the neck this time I think. Although I do tend to improvise on the neck. Okay, so let's go down, down. Okay, so politics, okay, keep politics after the big shave. I think it should really, because I understand people, if I say something you disagree with, and you can always get the opportunity to post your own video. I might, rather than criticising people criticising me, which could end up with like a one-legged men in an arse-kicking competition. And you know, the old story is if you're arguing with someone on the internet, when you actually start saying, accusing you as a person of being Hitler, then the argument's gone too far. Well, I'm not going to accuse anyone of that, and I don't want anyone accusing me of being Hitler. Although I could grow a little moustache. Talk a little bit about my politics and explain my view of the world. I'm not a religious person. I don't follow a particular religion. It doesn't say I'm not, not religious in the sort of Christian sense of the word, but I don't like the paraphernalia. I don't like organisations really. And it's the doctrines and the paraphernalia I don't like about religions. It's the same thing about politics really. I have basically quite a left-wing view of things. I used to vote Labour because of my social background. My dad was a docker on Garston Docks in Liverpool, and we were very poor when I grew up, very, very poor. I've not been incredibly rich. I've had a good education, I think. I've had a university education. Been to university 3 times, doing different things. So I think I'm fairly well educated, but I do sort of feel that, some poorer people do get the shitty end of the stick. Now, as I say, I was a big Labour Party supporter and was in the Labour Party until about a year and a half ago when I left the Labour Party because I was not happy with the new leader, Ed Miliband. I think he's completely useless. He doesn't really say anything of worth, and he just basically, at the moment, the Labour Party in Britain is in a bit of a black bind really, because they're trying awfully to keep the middle classes on side, because that's who got them in last time, and in which case they're alienating the people who actually set up the Labour Party, which is the working classes. And so you get the situation in my area, which Kensington and Fairfield, it's part of a ward, a bigger constituency, and just hang on a second, I'm going to tell. And just a little bit before the last election in 2010, the sitting MP decided to retire, and all of a sudden this 28-year-old girl appeared from London, who no one had ever heard of. She's never really done any work before. She worked as a consultant, and she worked for the National Union of Students. No connections with the area. Middle class. They have this. There's a certain sort of class of Labour MP at the moment who have never done a real job. They've been to university, they've done politics and philosophy and economics, and they end up being Labour MPs, and they end up also representing quite poor areas. And I always ask myself, what can these people bring to this? You know, not having that experience. Now you don't have to have had an experience to actually understand it, but the whole point of living in areas like this is there's no social mobility, there's no extra income, and actually living this close to the breadline, I think if you don't live this close to the breadline, it's hard to actually comprehend what people have to put up with on a daily basis. You know, do you eat? You put clothes on your kid's back, or what? And it's no wonder a lot of people just fall out of society, just fall off the edge and start drinking or taking drugs. Not that I'm sticking up for them either. So this girl appeared, and she's now, after only 2 years, I'm not going to mention her name, she's the shadow secretary, so she's the Labour secretary for climate change. And I'm like wondering, well, what's climate change got to do with being around here? Well, people are worried about getting bread on the table. No, not carbon footprints. So, being quite critical of her at the moment, because I just don't feel she's bringing much to the table, and we're just a ladder, we're just a step in her political career. She obviously wants to be a politician, and we're being used, so we're, this working class area, this poor working class area, being used as career fodder. Okay, so shut up, Farragher. Shut up, let me put my glasses on so I can see you all. Oh, that's better. So Supermax Blade, can't really grumble with that. That's getting close and personal. Can you see that? It's a classic shave. There's a little rough bit there. These are all my problems, not the Blade's problem. A little rough bit there. Everything else is fine. Finished off with a bit of 378. No, we didn't. Cumberlinka. Lily of the Valley, which is lovely. And also Arco, just to finish it all off. And that's 13 minutes of bollocks, basically. Alright, so it's goodbye from me, Steve Farragher, The Big Shave. Join the Facebook group there. Buy stuff on eBay there. If you want to email me, it's there. Alright, so have a good day. Have a good shave. And don't do anything that I wouldn't do. But if you do, don't get caught. Ta-ra.